Okay. It's supposed to rain today. Yesterday I went out and I established a line in the tree that I'm going to be cutting down. And there is a ring in the tree with a rope attached to it right now. A Carmanel rope. It's a blue water assault line, they call it. It's 11 point something millimeter, like 11.4, 11.5 millimeter, something like that. So that's like that's a preliminary placement. So what that means is that I don't own a big shot. Okay, Jameson makes what's called, Jameson is a tree company. Well, they make various stuff for industrial and arboriculture and everything, but Jameson makes something called a big shot. And a big shot is basically, it's a industrial slingshot to put one of these in, these weight bags, and shoot it over the top of the highest branch that you can get in your sights, right? That's what it's for. I want one. Because I never had one, but when they came out, I thought, man, that's got to be the cat's meow right there, you know. Anyway, I don't have one. I'm gonna look at getting one though, because you know it saves a lot of time and effort getting your rope placed where you really want it. You know, I mean, you can climb the tree and you can set everything up. You know, you can go like I'm doing right now. I'm into the lower section of the tree, you know, and people can criticize me if they want, but I keep ladders around for a reason, to get places up high. So this is a pretty darn big tree, and I don't really feel like I should have to struggle to get a rope up in the tree to get started, because I'm going to have to climb it anyway, because I don't have a big shot. So I'm going to have to climb it anyway. I'll just get my tree climbers, my gaffs, and my flip line, and you know, I've got the one rope in the lower part of the tree on a ring with steel rings. I've got it there right now to get me started. So I got my extension ladder out and I climbed up, and then when I was up in the lower part of the tree, then I threw this over a higher branch, okay, and then I established a ring with a rope. But see, around the base of that tree is scrub bushes, you know, bushes and thorns and whatnot, and not easy. You know, you see like guys walk right up to a tree in a it's like they're in a park. Right? Well, I don't live in a park. You know, I live on land where there's a lot of briars and underbrush and stuff like that, right? Places where rabbits and stuff like to hide. So anyway, I went ahead and I cleared some of that area out there, and I got my 32-foot extension ladder out. And what you do is you find some crap on the ground that you can get the feet kind of dug into. And then as an older guy, you just walk it up. You start at the top of the ladder and get underneath it, and you just walk it rung by rung, pushing it up like you're gonna invade a fortress, right? In the old days, like you're gonna, you know, push ladders up. You saw in Lord of the Rings, right, where them big ladders going up, you know, only I wasn't climbing the ladder as it was going up. I was pushing the ladder up. So anyway, I pushed the ladder up, and get past the trunk of the tree there and all the briar and crap at the bottom. I didn't want to get into all that stuff. So anyway, I climbed over it. So I got up there, you know, decent ways, got my throw line, threw it over a branch, got my rope established there. So it's out there right now. I keep the rope off the ground when I'm not around the ladder. If I'm going to be a couple days at it or whatever, and I'm not taking a rope down, access rope, I'll hang the rope ladder off, or a rope bag off the ground. So I'll hang the rope bag off the ground and keep the rope off the ground, you know. And then I just check it. I just take a look at it, make sure, you know, nothing's been chewing on it or whatever. And next morning, take a look at the rope, take a close look at the rope, do a little weight test, you know, and then go up, you know, and then start working. So what am I doing here? Well, first of all, I put that rope in the tree because that rope is one of my it's a nice rope. I never buy crap ropes when I buy a rope. I always buy a good rope because that's your life, right? So I have several different ropes. Let's see, I have three Blue Water Assault Line ropes. They're all olive drab green. One of them is I got a long time ago, you know, more than a couple of decades ago. And that one is that's a work rope now. You know, I use it for this and that. I don't use it as a main lifeline. What I'll do is I'll have a main lifeline established, and then I'll use it for access to other areas of a tree or other areas of my roof of a building here at the house, you know, that sort of thing. But I'll always have a main line, and then that'll be like something to reposition myself or whatever. Or I'll use it to haul stuff up or lower stuff down or whatever, that sort of thing. This is the same thing with this. Now this is an old ring and ring. This is aluminum rings. I never use aluminum rings anymore because of the fear that there might, if you accidentally bump this too hard or drop it a little too hard, that could develop a crack inside, because this and the figure 8 descender, you know, aluminum ones, those are made in such a way that they can develop an internal hairline fracture and you won't know about it, right? So I like to use steel on this stuff. Anyway, this right here I'll use for positioning. If I have a rope that I don't, let's say I want to trim a tree. I'm not taking it down. I'm not going to cut it all down. Let's say I'm just trimming a tree and I don't want to run my good climbing rope around a branch, but I want to use it as a positioning, but I don't want to run my rope around there and mess up the bark of the tree or dig the tree bark into my rope or any of that. I could throw this old cambium save or this old ring and ring around that branch, and also I can, you know, I can retrieve it later if I want to. I'll just go ahead and if I want to, I can go ahead and retrieve it later, because what I'll do is, here's a piece of my old mammoth rope, and I cut this off of there, and I use this for a positioning rope, right? So right here I've got a figure of 8 knot just for demonstration purposes. But let's say I've got this rope. I usually carry a couple ropes on me. One of these positioning ropes and maybe an extra rope if I want to do something kind of dangerous or get away from an area way out on a limb or something. I'll get another long rope, a good one, and then I could put this around the tree branch, throw that rope through there, put a knot, tie it into me, and then this will be the secondary line, right, to get my triangle like I talked about in another video. Now when I'm done with this, so let's say I went way over there, and coming back that way wasn't an easy process, and all I really want to do is make my way back to the trunk. I could tend my slack on my main crown anchor with my main line, and I want to just retrieve this whole thing. What I do is I got this side on my harness, okay, with maybe a tending pulley and a Blake's hitch. Alright, let's say I had it over here on my rings, my side rings, because I got two side rings there. I showed you guys my harness in another video. So I just undo this from my harness, you know, take it off the carabiner, take the knot out that was on the carabiner, and just go ahead and do an overhand with a bit of tail, right? So if I do an overhand with a bit of tail, then all I got to do to retrieve this whole mechanism is I just pull this and shake that a bit, and it goes through the big ring, and now I can just pull this from around that branch and take this back to me. Come over here, you know, see what I'm saying? So I could do that. Now, got a couple minutes left here. I've been talking about this ring and ring stuff. But the throttle, I got the throttle back in the box. Okay, there it is. So, the throttle, they tell you on the website, it works best with these ropes that they've found so far. Well, it does not work very well with the Blue Water Assault line, 11 mil or 11.5 mil, whatever. It does not work well with that rope. I'm just letting you know. So if you got that rope, it doesn't work well with that rope. It barely wants to work with that rope. So I'm going to experiment. I got a couple other ropes that I'm going to experiment with. One of them is my L.V.I, okay, which is my best rope. It's my favorite rope and my best rope. L.V.I and Mammoth ropes, those are the best ropes out there on the market. They've been the best ropes for years. This is a Mammoth 11 millimeter super dry. And when I got this, this was from France. I don't know if they're made in France or they're made in Switzerland, one or the other. But anyway, excellent ropes. They both make very safe ropes. L.V.I has really nice ropes. The one that I have down there in the bag is an edge fall certified rope, certified for an edge fall. If an accident happens, you got an edge fall, it's certified for that. I don't ever want to try that out. I don't think I'll have to, because I'm just not into doing that sort of thing anymore where I'd have that situation. But Mammoth now has an edge fall certified rope also. It's called Unicore. So, but I would look at them both. If you're looking for a serious rope, I would be looking at those. There are other ropes as well. We'll talk about that stuff. We're gonna come back to another video. I've done a few other little videos too with chainsaw and stuff, right? So we'll be showing those as well. Just put together a little package of videos here. That way I got stuff to put up while I'm working here at the house. It's supposed to rain today, so probably I might do a little bit of work out there today and then go ahead and establish the highest point that I can in the tree. Tomorrow's supposed to be nice and sunny all day. So we'll see you later.